Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1 by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman and Jordie Bellaire. The Absolute Universe's take on Diana of Themyscira arrives in grand fashion this week as Gateway City is assaulted by flying lizard demon monsters that pour out of a strange upside-down pyramid that has appeared off the coast of the city. Only 3 pages in and we're introduced to our new Wonder Woman as the helmeted warrior arrives riding a thestral and wielding a big-ass buster sword, using it to carve up the lizard demons. Thompson, Sherman and Bellaire waste no time really showcasing the influences that they have drawn on for this series. It's very anime inspired. There's obviously still the whole Greek mythology stuff that's thoroughly ingrained in Diana's core being, but I like that this definitely is more inspired by anime. You've obviously got the giant Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII that, Cloud uses. Diana's overall look feels very Black Swordsman, Berserk, Guts inspired. This darker design is also definitely on purpose as well. Diana destroys the demon monsters by smashing her bracelets together, creating a giant explosion. We learn that she's actually raised in hell. Now obviously this is a big departure from a paradise idyllic island that we all know and love, and I welcome this change. Diana has had many origins over the years and most have stayed pretty much within the lines, pulling things from all over history of her character and kind of cobbling them all together to make something that always feels very similar to one another. But Thompson might have actually cracked the code on delivering a Wonder Woman origin that actually has some legs and takes some creative liberties with the character that we desperately needed. Hayden Sherman and Jordie Bellaire's art is just brilliant. It's a brilliant kaleidoscope of reds, browns and dark pinks, making the action just jump off the page. As I said before, I love the anime influences, and Diana's new design is just so good. It's functional while still adhering to her classical look. You can look at it and say, that's Wonder Woman. I can't wait to see more of Diana's rogues and supporting cast done by Sherman and Bellaire in the coming issues. After a bit of action in the opening pages, we actually go all the way back to Diana's birth, well, sort of her birth, as we head to Hell, where Circe has been imprisoned. Thompson kind of tricks us here in these panels as we are led to believe that maybe Diana is being made of clay, or we're getting a variation of that, like she was made by hell clay or something. That's not what actually happens, as the god Apollo arrives, gifting Circe a baby. Diana of Themyscira, the last of the Amazons, who was taken by Zeus from her people thanks to the crimes the Amazons have committed against their gods. There is a lot of neat little bits of the Absolute Universe's lore peppered throughout this section, like, Diana not being allowed to be reunited with her people, and even the word Amazon being banned from ever being said by Circe or anyone else, with Circe literally incapable of actually saying the word. And I like how it's visualized where she'll say it, but it's been crossed out by an editor. It looks really cool. Circe decides to let the child just die. She doesn't want to have to look after a child, and she figures hell is no place for a child, so it will just take its natural course. But when the child kills a hell snake with its bare hands, she decides to let the child live. As Diana grows, so does Circe's care for her and what you could see as love for her. She begins to love this child, and I like that that is kind of the through line for Circe's story in this issue, where once you raise a child, you begin to care for the child and love for the child, and then proving that love is letting that child out on the world. And I really like this concept that Thompson hints at throughout this little part, where Diana, even as a child, was kind of spreading the light and hope in the dark world. Like there's a part where a lizard actually breathes fire in her face, and instead of killing the lizard, she, tells it not to do that anymore and actually lets it go. She doesn't want to have to kill, but she will if she is absolutely pushed to it. What did surprise me though was how much of Diana's actual childhood we got to see, since it always feels, unless it's an actual story set in that period of time in her life, we barely actually get anything, only little snippets if they want to introduce some new piece of lore to Wonder Woman's ever-growing backstory. And I think this is a great way to help the audience build a solid relationship with the character. We start issue 1 with her as the child and then grow with her over that issue. We get to experience her life up until she is an adult, and in turn get to explore this cool new take on how they're dealing with Themyscira, how they're dealing with Hell, and even Circe. We get to see Circe begin to age out throughout this this entire issue. Cersei ends up teaching Diana her dark magics as Diana protects her from the dangers of hell. Our story then jumps back into the opening battle where Diana, who I love, just towers over everyone she meets, every man and woman she comes across, as she confronts Harbinger Prime, the monstrous leader of the lizard demon things that descends from the upside down pyramid. Again, Sherman and Belair have just knocked it out of the park with just their monster designs. It looks creepy, it just looks otherworldly, it doesn't look right in how it's proportioned, and it just is a great first villain. It's just like a big monster for her to fight. And she does just that as the monster decides it's time to bring its minions back to life, which add a problem to Diana's already growing pile of problems. Thompson loops back around to Cersei and this concept of not being able to say the word Amazon, and I love how this is all framed. It's Diana knows that there is a word there that she can't really seem to say and she doesn't really understand why, and it's only with Cersei's help does she embrace what this is. She's an Amazon and she is able to say that word once she embraces who she is and who she really knows she is. And Diana accepting who she is also part of Cersei's plan, as she arms the woman she raised to the teeth and sends her out into the world to change it and find the answers to all of these questions that this little part in the book has kind of raised for the coming issues. Why was this word banned? What did the Amazons do? Why are they trying to hide Diana? All of these questions, I guess, will be answered over the coming issues, and that'll be like the first arc plot line. Her also accepting this word is intercut with her fight with Harbinger Prime, where she's losing the fight until she reminds herself that she is an Amazon, she is a warrior. And doing that unleashes Wonder Woman's magic, or the dark magic that she was taught by Cersei, and that forms in the shape of a red-hued magic lasso, allowing her to fly and also confront Harbinger properly, intending on killing it. And I don't know if I really like that we're left kind of on a cliffhanger there, does she beat the villain? Does she not? I mean, obviously she's going to beat the villain, but I would have liked to have seen that in the final pages of the issue. It's kind of left on a cliffhanger, and I guess next issue is when we'll see that villain die, or maybe they'll become her main villain throughout the story arc. And I think that'd be a really cool departure from, fighting Ares or Dr. Psycho or Cheetah, just this big weird alien monster thing from hell. It'd be a really big swerve from the usual. Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1 was a hell of an opening issue, pun intended, and like the Absolute Batman before, I love all of the changes Thompson and her team have brought to a familiar character, breathing some new creative life into an over 80-year-old character. I can't wait to dig more into this lore that Thompson has been building with the Themyscirans and Zeus, and what he has done to the Amazons and all of these people, and what other adventures Diana will have in the Absolute Universe. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10.